3-minute warning.
The show where we take 5 of the hottest topics in sports and break them down in 3 minutes or less. My name is Michael Medina. With me, as always, is David Griffin.
And we're also joined by Stephen Fox up in the booth, the producer making it happen. Say hello, Stephen.
What's up, guys?
We get right into it today with some boxing news.
We talk about this fight a lot.
A lot of fights.
We still have ways to go.
Until May 2nd, we're going to keep talking about it. We got Mayweather Pacquiao, pay-per-view card has been announced, and also the pricing.
The fight of the century.
The fight of the century. There will be parties at the houses, everybody pitching in $5 here and there, because, man, it will cost you, if you want the high-definition feed, it will cost you $99 to view this fight. $99. It's big money. $89 for the center definition, but who wants to see all that fuzz? You want to see clarity.
Some
you want to see the sweat, the blood. You want to see Justin Bieber's beautiful hair as he comes out. You really want to see this fight.
Yes, you do. Yes,
so it's going to cost you $99. What do you think about the most expensive fight in pay-per-view history? The previous number, I believe, was $75 for the last highest fight.
That is a bit much for
$99.
me. I mean, just like you said, we're gonna watch the fight. We're gonna have a bunch of people. We're gonna get people gonna chip. You better believe you're gonna chip in.
Better chip in. I ain't paying for that on my own.
So no, it's $99 is a lot, but I mean, I'm not surprised, right? I mean, we talked the other day about an $87,000 ringside seat. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not shocking, but the fight better be worth it.
It's going to be big money. I think it's going to be worth it, though. I think it'll be exciting. It's going to be an event. It's going to be what everybody's talking about. Just, invite people over, pitch in. Bars usually have the option. You can pay maybe $10, $15 at the door to go to a bar. It's going to be worth the fight. It's interesting, though, boxing, though, still has such an outdated system. There are free fights. I was watching sports last night, watched a little bit of the Miami Stanford game. Sorry, Michael, about that game. But I was watching that in the NIT, and they did show some, previews for a boxing match on CBS that's coming out.
Yeah.
UFC, I think, is better tapped into this with their Facebook fights. You can watch for free. They have free fights. They even put free fights on their YouTube page. Yeah. You can watch. It's not on Xbox One yet, but Xbox 360 has UFC app.
Yeah, well, it's a younger sport, and Dana White is pretty much a mastermind right now as far as like how to market his sport and get it going in this new generation. Because I mean, it kind of seems like where we're heading, right? With like boxing, UFC. Because I mean, right now I'm having way more fun watching UFC than boxing. Yeah,
and you can tap into it more. I love the Ultimate Fighter show, the reality show. You can see all this happen. And it's just fun. Like all their athletes just seem more relevant. I mean, I guess like you said, it is closer to WWE.
Yeah.
We just had WrestleMania. Ronda Rousey teamed up with The Rock. Yeah. He's like, if you smell what The Rock and Ronda Rousey are cooking, I mean, he did that whole thing.
And one of the things that we're missing from boxing nowadays, we don't really have characters. UFC, like Conor McGregor, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit, McGregor Aldo. Right. I mean, if you didn't watch that face-off, you should. It was amazing. It was so much fun. But we don't really have characters like that because that's part of the fun, right? It's not just the fight. You want to see everything. You want to see all the showmanship. And that's what I want.
I mean, because all you have is Pacquiao in this fight. And Pacquiao, he's a good guy. Seems like a great person. He's not very entertaining. Besides his physique, he's great. He's very skillful, excellent fighter. But in terms of on-camera presence, there's just not much about him. Whereas Mayweather, you either love him or you hate him. But if you hate him, you love to watch him. And if you hate him, you want to see him fail.
It's on a show.
And that's the biggest thing. So it's going to be a big fight. I'm excited for it. We're going to move on to some NBA. Talk about Mr. LeBron James. King James himself has just surpassed Patrick Ewing as the 20th all-time leading scorer. On this track, by next year, if his numbers continue, he will be up to 10th place next year. Once you get to 20, it gets tight.
Yeah.
It's very close. I think Jerry West is all these guys.
Jerry West, then there's Reggie Miller. I mean, I know Duncan's a little bit ahead of him as well. So he still has a ways to go, but it's still quite the accomplishment.
LeBron's a guy we've been watching, and LeBron maybe ushered in this whole follow the high school player. I remember he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated back when he was a junior in high school. He's called like the Golden Child. I mean, he was big then. He was already like 6'8", 245 pounds. I mean, now he's like, 260 or something. He's huge. But, I mean, he was a big kid, strong, good college football player, too. Can you imagine him at wide receiver, 6'8", 245-pound high school wide receiver? Jeez, he must have tore it up. Great player. Like, what do you think of his career? Just, like, how was it, from high school to Cleveland to Miami, now back to Cleveland? I mean, let's look at just as a player for right now. What do we think about his career as a player?
Well, he's 30. So he's obviously grown. He's matured a lot.
12 years, I guess, now.
Yeah, absolutely, which is still weird. It kind of blows my mind.
He still seems young.
It flew by. But we talk about this a lot. We talk about LeBron as far as, like, he likes to move the ball around. He's not very selfish. He's not like a Westbrook. And I like Westbrook, but he likes to move the ball.
LeBron's not trying to pad stats. He does not pad stats.
He's a little bit more team-oriented. But yeah, you remember like some of the early days when he would just like act like a young player, like taking photos on the court, like in the middle of the game, like celebrating stuff like that, which is fine, I guess, when you're like 21 or whatever and you're new to the league, even though he came in like 18 or whatever. But still, nonetheless, he doesn't really do stuff like that. He definitely is focused more on winning. Yeah. And so, yeah, he's grown, more mature.
And you can see he's mature. I mean, made the stupid move, the decision. I'm going to take my talents to South Beach, even though Miami does not play in South Beach.
Yeah.
If you go to Miami, you're from Miami, they play in Miami. They play in the city, on the water. They do not play. South Beach is a different part. I don't like people say we're in South Beach. You're not technically in South Beach. When you go to Buffalo Bills game, you're not technically in Buffalo. You're in Orchard Park. It's different. When you watch the New York,
it's sexy.
New York
South
Jets,
Beach.
the New York Jets play in Jersey. The New York Giants play in Jersey. Buffalo is the only team that actually plays in the great state of New York. That's all I'm saying. As a
Just
Buffalo
in
Bills
case
fan.
you didn't know.
Just in case you didn't know, that's all I'm saying. But he has matured. He looks like now he's kind of like overseeing this team. If Kevin Love says something, they want LeBron's opinion on it. Yeah. They were talking about how LeBron talks about play calling. Like, if he has any coach under him, he'll be the one playing the calls. He's like Peyton Manning on the court. Yeah. And he has a right to be. He's experienced. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. Do you think his legacy, let's say if he were to retire next year, he's not going to retire. Let's say he did. Do you think his legacy is cemented? Will he be a Hall of Famer?
I think so. I mean, he's a 4-time MVP, 2-time NBA champion. Just looking at all like what he's done in this short amount of time. Because again, he came in. That's why I forget that he's been around as long as he has because he came in so early. But look how much he's achieved so far. And people are always going to try to say, "Oh, you're no Jordan, whatever, yada yada yada." But nonetheless, he's still done a lot in this game. I think he still would be.
Yeah, it's kind of like we were talking about, Crosby earlier, and Crosby's still good, even though he's maybe not Wayne Gretzky. He's still Crosby. But we're going to move on from the NBA to the UFC.
Oh, yes.
Big tour they're going on, the biggest, the most expensive tour they've ever done for UFC promotional-wise. It's going to be big money at the gate, potentially maybe the highest gate they've ever seen at the UFC for the Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor fight. This is the UFC featherweight championship title here. It'll be July 11th. And they were on a tour recently in Dublin, was their last stop.
Yeah.
You can go online. You can watch the UFC embeddeds on UFC's YouTube page for free. They do a really nice job doing all this behind-the-scenes stuff. And Conor McGregor got a little bold.
Really
in the
bold.
press conference. They were in Dublin, Conor's hometown, so he was pumped, feeling it, getting all hyped.
Got really caught up in the emotion.
And what does he do, Michael?
Snatches the belt from Aldo. Here's the thing. It's funny.
I love Dana's face. He's like,
Here's the thing about, and back to what I was saying earlier about like UFC right now. Like you look at someone like Conor McGregor. He's such like a performer. He's a lot like a Mayweather. Maybe McGregor's a little bit more extreme than Mayweather. But like obviously, let's be honest, that was pretty disrespectful on his part. But again, he's home. He's in his backyard. He's got like thousands of fans. I mean, I don't know what they say. How many people showed up to that? I mean, it was
60,000. It was a lot. Yeah, it was like a football game or something. It was big.
Ridiculous amount of people just not even to see the fight.
Right.
That's what's funny. So yeah, I think he just got caught up in the moment, and he's trying to sell this fight.
Right.
Is what he did. But like we were talking about this with Aldo, you can tell Aldo was pissed.
Aldo looks like he's been almost like he's disrespected. Like you can tell Conor's hyping it. But Aldo's facial expressions, he looked like he is just angry. Like he said he wants to rip the guy's face off. I mean, it's going to be because Aldo. He looks smaller because he looks shorter, but he is strong. Yeah. And he has these powerful leg kicks. You can see him there. I mean, he is a tough dude. He's been champion for a little while now. Conor's going to have to bring it. It's going to be a good fight. I'm excited to see it.
That I have no doubt about.
It's going to be good. But, I mean, it's funny. Daniel Cormier, who is a UFC light heavyweight fighter, he's also fought at the heavyweight division. Fox 1 sports correspondent right now was saying on his segment that he would have punched the other guy in the face if he would have taken his belt from him. Cormier and John Jones, which was their last fight, got in a famous brawl in Vegas. Kind of like a headbutt thing, and then started fighting. Broke out. That didn't work out too well for Daniel Cormier.
It didn't.
Because John Jones whooped his butt.
He did. Like you can see, if you guys watch that fight, if he did, I mean, Cormier halfway through that fight, which you could tell he's getting tired. He's like, I'm not used to fighting this long. I'm a big boy.
Right. I mean, and this is the thing. Like when we have a fight, what do we look for? Are we more interested in the personalities, like Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao, or are we more interested in the skill? I think the best fights incorporate both.
Absolutely.
I think you want to see that great skill. You want to see Mayweather because he's 47-0 for a reason. He's good.
He is good.
You want to see Pacquiao fight. He's got a lot of wins where he's good. You want to see Aldo. He's been the champion. You want to see these guys have skill. But when the personalities and the skill come together,
it's pretty awesome.
I mean, think about basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
You get those great personalities. You get a Jordan and a Magic. You get LeBron and Kobe.
Let's even go WWE. I mean, look at The Rock. The Rock is so energetic,
The Rock, the people's champion.
The people's
he's
champion.
Still the people's champion.
Fun to watch.
The people's elbow, all that stuff. We're going to go in now because this is a Friday show. So that's the last show for the weekend. We'll be off for 2 days. We're going to come back Monday. Got a special guest joining us. Going to have AJ Lauren. She's awesome. But we're going to talk about some NCAA basketball. Hashtag 3MW. Send us in your thoughts on this. Final Four picks.
Yes.
A lot of Final Four discussion. It's big. Saturday, we got 2 games. Duke, Michigan State, Kentucky, Wisconsin.
It's good matchups, man.
And then Monday is going to be the final game in Indianapolis. So, who will be in Monday's championship game? Let's look at these 2 matches a little bit. Let's look at Kentucky, Wisconsin first. Number 1 versus number 1.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's not forget that these 2 teams played each other last year in the Final Four, and Kentucky narrowly beat them.
Yeah.
So they're definitely Wisconsin's going to want to come back. You look at guys
They
like
are more
Kaminsky.
mature. They're older now.
Exactly. Yeah. Kaminsky, a year older. They're hungry, and they look good. They look good. They look like they could be a serious threat to Kentucky right now.
So we talks about Kentucky's size. Well, Wisconsin's big.
Yeah.
Sam Decker, 6'9", Kaminsky, 7 foot. They can move. They can shoot better, I think, than Kentucky's big men, who are very athletic. But Kentucky has a great backcourt. Their guards, I think, are a little bit better than Wisconsin's.
Yeah, nonetheless, it's going to make for a fun time.
So are you thinking Wisconsin or Kentucky in the?
I'm still going to go. I'm going to stick to my original pick. I'm going to go Kentucky Duke.
Kentucky
Still
Duke.
thinking Duke's going to. Yeah.
Let's look a little bit at the Duke Michigan State matchup. Great coaches. Tom Izzo, 7 Final Fours. Coach K, 12 Final Fours. Both just superb coaches. These guys are the best of the best. Been with their each respective teams for a long time. Coach K a little bit longer. A little bit older, about 8 years older than Tom Izzo. So you still think Duke's going to pull through?
I still do. I mean, I think Michigan State's going to come out swinging. I mean, we talked about this before. Maybe you should have been, seated a little bit higher than 7. So they don't seem like a true 7 to me at all. But nonetheless, I mean, just look at how they looked in this tournament. They're going to come out swinging. It's going to be a great fight. But again, I love Jaleel Okafor. I just love his size. I love what he brings to the game. I think
You're hoping he goes to Chicago?
That would be amazing.
He's hoping he goes to Chicago. He doesn't like Duke, doesn't like my team, but he's hoping he goes to Chicago. He's hoping he goes to Chicago. So let's move on to the NIT championship game. We're still in that talking about some NCAA basketball.
Do we have
the
to?
not invited tournament.
Do we have to?
Is anybody watching this? It was actually a really good game last night.
It was overtime.
Great game.
Man.
Overtime.
Came
Miami
close.
Stanford. It's close. There you see Miami at the leaving. Hopefully they lost that game. I don't know. They're at Duke. That's a Cameron Indoor. I don't know if I like all that. They look like maybe they're happy. Miami won.
Well, remember, we did beat Duke in the regular season.
Ah,
Just saying.
I don't remember that.
Just
I don't remember
saying.
That. So,
we did do that.
What do you think about your Miami team this year? They played well.
They played well.
A great season.
Again, they really did. And this was something I was really, again, it's the NIT. Say what you will about it, but it's definitely good. We're both ACC guys, so it's great for the conference. It's great for the program. And it was a great game. Didn't disappoint. Even if you're not, you're so focused on the NCAA tournament, if you watch this game, you would have enjoyed it.
So I would say recommend watching the NIT. I think there's a different way. Let's talk about marketing real quick.
Yeah.
They can market a different way. They maybe put a different time because I think it gets in the way. It's during the NCAA tournament, so no one cares about the NIT. But if they moved it, because it's still good basketball, I think more people would watch it.
A month before, maybe not a month after, because after the tournament, who's going to really care?
Right.
A month before, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, is anybody watching NIT? Hashtag 3MW, the stream.tv here. Let us know if you were watching NIT. Good game last night. Miami tried.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Next year. That's all right. They're a tough team. We're going to go on to topic 5, the last topic. We'll talk about some sex appeal.
This is loaded right here.
Ooh, got some controversy.
Yep.
In Golf Digest magazine, the lovely, young, Lexi
and
talented. There she is. Very beautiful, very young woman, 20 years old, Lexi Thompson, LPGA Tour pro, qualified for the U.S. Open at age 12. Controversial pose.
Yeah.
Has a little towel, or shirt, whatever. She's kind of draping over herself there, and
yeah, I'm sure that was after a few rounds.
After a few rounds, sweating, got to go to the locker room and change, and maybe got to take some photos.
Yeah.
Now the controversy here is, of course, when you have ladies are posing, scantily clad. Is this should women use their sex and their sexual appeal to make money, to sell magazines? Is this Golf Digest's fault? Is this Lexi Thompson's fault? According to her parents were all for this. Her agent was all for this. Obviously, this woman does not need extra money.
Yeah.
She's not poor. She's not like so she did this because she wanted to. I mean, is this a Gone Girl moment? Like, Gone Girl.
Gone Girl.
Or is this, something else?
You know what it is? Sports is a business. We both know this. And it's like you want to market yourself. If you're an athlete, you are a product. There are so many other athletes in that same profession. That's that sport that you're playing. So what are you going to do to rise above the rest? Not just in terms of like what you do on the field or whatnot, but marketing. We talk about this like in boxing and guys like that are performers, showmen, guys that are almost bigger than the sport themselves. And this is a good marketing move. You look at guys like, you want to talk about like being fair. Well, guys do the same thing, right? We do see like Colin Kaepernick point, for example. Physically
Always
fit.
has his shirt off.
Exactly. He'll be on the cover of magazines. So I understand where it's coming from because you, as a female athlete, you want to be taken seriously. But at the same time, this is 2015. This isn't like the 50s or 60s.
Right.
This is more about business. It's almost business
Yeah,
first.
I think
really.
that's interesting. I mean, this isn't like something that's really lewd. It's not like we're talking like Playboy or Penthouse or anything like that. I mean, we're talking. It's like look at Giselle when she was 19. She was a Victoria's Secret. And everybody's like, oh, when Forbes list comes out, Giselle makes more money than Tom Brady. It's like, oh, she's like a great businesswoman and she's all this. But like this girl does it. It's like, is she selling herself short? Look at Ronda Rousey. She was in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue this year, looking great. Look at her there, looking great, looking toned. I mean, she's ripped. I mean,
she's one of the biggest names in UFC, not just biggest female fighters in UFC, one of the biggest names overall.
You want to talk about a strong female character? I mean, I think Ronda's a great role model for girls. She's acting. She's pretty. She's got that charisma. People love her. Men and women both love her. And it feels like Lexi's being a little attacked here, in my opinion. But I understand from there is that other perspective that sees it as something that maybe shouldn't happen.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I think if she wants to use it to make more money, that's okay.
I mean, look at it's got us talking about it, right? I mean, even people that don't follow golf have probably seen this image and have probably heard some people talking about it.
Yeah, it was
right?
trending on Twitter. I mean, I think a year ago, Golf Digest had a picture of Wayne Gretzky's daughter.
Yeah.
And she's not a golfer. Now that I could get upset about because it's like, come on, she's not even a golfer. Why are you putting her on there? I don't know. Let us know what you think. #3MW. Questions, thoughts on Lexi. Do you think she's doing the right thing? Is this a go-on girl moment or a girl? You should not be doing that. Let us know what you think. That's the show for this week. We are going to be back Monday. We're going to have AJ Lawrence joining us here at the Stream.tv. We can't wait to see you. I'm David Griffin. As always, you can find me on Twitter @GriffinDE.
And I'm Michael Medina. You can also find me on Twitter @Mr. Michael Alexis, and David and I right here on the Stream.tv on the Arrow After Show.
And we will see you Monday morning.